India is an agrarian economy with more than 50% of its 1.3 billion population engaged in agriculture-related activities. 50% of this population living in rural areas depend directly on agriculture for their livelihood. About 60% of the total net sown area under irrigation is rain-fed. Thus, the cropping pattern in Indian agriculture sector is largely determined by rainfall. The impact of climate change on agriculture is a matter of great concern as it threatens to jeopardize the food security of the nation. Erratic rainfall patterns often lead to unpredicted events of droughts and floods, making the farming sector vulnerable and inefficient in meeting the food demands of ever-increasing population. Given the ongoing challenges, Government of India assigned high priority to research and development in agriculture sector for coping with climate change. With a mandate to carry out the basic and applied research in rain-fed farming, Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture was established in 1985 under the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Climate change impact assessment studies conducted through NICRA in the years 2002 to 2007 identified vulnerabilities like drought, flood, heat wave, high temperature stress, and the cold wave. For making Indian agriculture more resilient to the changing and increasingly variable climate, the Indian Council of Agriculture Research launched a mega project called National Innovations in Climate Resilient Agriculture (NICRA) during February 2011. NICRA, a flagship project of Ministry of Agriculture, is comprised of 4 components, which are strategic research, technology demonstrations, knowledge management, and capacity building of stakeholders. The technology demonstration components aims at demonstrating proven technologies through location-specific interventions for adaptation of crops and livestock. This component is implemented in 100 vulnerable districts of the country via local Krishi Vigyan Kendras. Nandurbar is one of those 100 districts selected for the NICRA project. Nandurbar is located in the northwest corner of Maharashtra state. The district is considered as one of the most backward districts of the country. The population of Nandurbar is predominantly tribal and having agriculture as their main occupation. Most of the farmers have small land holdings and the farming practices are limited to Kharif season. Under NICRA project, one village each that represents the vulnerability of that particular district was selected in these 100 districts.
निक्रा हवामान बदलाचा शेतीवर होणारा परिणाम अशा आशयाचा प्रकल्प हा नंदुरबार जिल्ह्यातील उमराणी परिसरातील 4 गावांमध्ये सुरू आहे. यामध्ये उमराणी, सूर्यपूर, बुजगाव, शिवणीपाडा अशा 4 गावांचा समावेश आहे. ह्या बदललेल्या हवामानाला सामोरे जाताना तंत्रज्ञानाचा कशा पद्धतीने उपयोग केला पाहिजे याकरिता कृषी विज्ञान केंद्राद्वारा अशा पद्धतीचा निक्रा प्रकल्प सुरू आहे.
Umrani, a cluster of small villages in Dhadgaon Tehsil, is situated in picturesque Satpura mountains. The region is hard to reach and sparsely populated. Dhadgaon region receives an average rainfall of 813.2 millimeters. The soils are shallow and prone to moderate to severe soil erosion. At the initial part of NICRA project, KVK did a baseline survey using participatory rural appraisal technique to assess the climate-related problems. Drought and heat stress are the major climatic challenge in this region. The interventions to be carried out were finalized following a participatory approach through Village Climate Risk Management Committee (VCRMC). The interventions made in NICRA project are broadly splitted into 4 modules: natural resource management, crop production, livestock and fisheries, and institutional interventions. Being a hilly terrain, the farmlands in this region are undulated. During rainy season, the surface runoff causes a huge loss of nutrient-rich, fertile topsoil. Agriculture productivity gets reduced due to soil erosion. Under the NICRA project, trenches around farms have been constructed to prevent soil erosion. These trenches also help in replenishing the groundwater. Farming in Umrani village is dependent on monsoons. Hence, farming practices are limited to Kharif seasons. KVK Nandurbar identified 4 springs around Umrani village and constructed low-cost check dams using sand-filled bags. This ensured the availability of water post-monsoon. 43 acres of land in the vicinity of these bunds received assured irrigation for the first time, and the farmers could yield rabi crops like chickpea, garlic and groundnuts. KVK also intervened in the irrigation practices of the farmers. Due to undulated topography, the conventional flood irrigation method was not suitable for this region. KVK promoted sprinkler irrigation and rain pipe irrigation as a solution to this, ensuring conservation of water. Rain pipe irrigation method is well suited for farmland having small area. It is a low-cost portable irrigation system that is easy to shift from one place to another. It is useful for small beds of vegetable crops. This type of irrigation helps on water conservation due to less wastage of water.
इनामुळे आमर भरपूर वेळ वाच जातलो ये पाणी सोडले की आम 20-25 मिनिट धीरे जागे काम जाई सकतला फचा आविन 5-10 मिनिट लागतरे पाइप जोड़े है पाइप लागाड़ दिन फचा 20-25 मिनिट काम कर सकतला ते एखादी हो अत्र खेत हो जातला आमर ते पेल पावड़ी करी वालतरा ते में कमी से कमी 3-4 दिन लागतरा मु पाणी वालने ते पाणी वालतरा पण का दौड़ो वही एक मेरे निकली जातरा एर कइले काही का दौड़ो नि वही तर काही नहीं इतला
या पाइपे लगाड़ी खूब आम फायदो इतलो आम याहरी सुटिन धीरे जागे कर मेकलेतला तीबी आम काम कर लेतला काही जाम अडचण खूब भाजसे बाजी पाला भी यज वापरनी आम
Conventionally, the tribal farmers of this region practiced monoculture. Due to climatic variabilities like erratic rainfall and other impacts, this becomes a risk in case of low yield or loss of entire crop. To produce a greater yield, KVK encouraged these marginal tribal farmers to practice intercropping.
आमु साहेब कइलो तो 3 उल्या सोयाबीन नाखो 1 उल तूर नाखो तेर पद्धतीने जे तुरे नाखला होता तुऱ्या भी हाजा जावला होता सोयाबीन भी हाजावला
पहले निस्तो कपा नाखता અને यो देसी कपा કરીને મે નાખ્યામાં તો તેના ઉર્દી લે દે ડબલ પેક લે દે તેનામાં આમરો ફાયદો यो
આખો હાજો से કાઈ વાંધો નહીં સાહેબન આશીર્વાદ છે આમ ઉપર.
In the monsoons, due to surface runoff, the fertile topsoil gets washed away. It causes land degradation as the loss of organic matter and microbes from the soil, and thus the reduction in the farm yield. Optimum soil organic matter is necessary to sustain crop productivity. KVK introduced vermicomposting in NICRA villages for efficient recycling of biomass with tetra vermibed technology. Vermicompost helps improve soil structure, water holding capacity, and reduces erosion. It improves plant growth by enabling the growth of new shoots and leaves, thereby increase productivity. It also helps to neutralize the pH of the soil. To save the crop from uncertain rainfall, farmers are provided with tarpaulin to cover it during such unforeseen events.
आम पहा निकरा प्रोजेक्टमध्ये यो तारपत्री आपली जुवारी कापणे टायमच परे तारपत्री जो उडी होती निकरा मार्फते ते आमो ची जुवारे वेळ परे आमो हो डाकीन मेकली ते थोडक वासन हेन काम करलो वासाय गेली जुवारी आमरी ओहलो आमरो तारपत्री खूब मोठी कामो मावी आमो हो.
Maize is a staple diet of tribal life. Due to terminal drought, low productivity of maize has been observed. Maize hybrids are generally late maturing and even less suitable as fodder due to their thicker stems. Thus, it is unsuitable for the tribal areas. KVK introduced the short duration maize variety GM6. It matures within 90 days of sowing and thus escapes the terminal drought. More than 14% of gain in the yield is observed with the GM6 variety.
NICRA ne ledia mo lienne ne nya thoili maila duda pasada ma uria urdin ne phosa cha juda dure sale mekia mekin phosa avre salbi ya juda korin mek detla muloni bandi थोड़ा के माले मेल देता रूटू खाने भी हाजो लागतो वासड़ा बुकड़ा भी हाजो लागतो माणो भी खाने हाजो लागतो.
The region's primary rabi crop is wheat, which is vulnerable to climatic challenges like frequent droughts, heat stress, and less availability of water. To deal with this, KVK promoted crop diversification. Vegetable production like potato cultivation, pea cultivation, and onion seed productions was encouraged. This crop diversification leads to economic benefits for the farmers. Whilst they used to get approximately 16,000 per hectare of wheat, after this intervention the profit increased to rupees 61,100 per hectares of pea cultivation and rupees 1,65,000 from onion seed production.
खूप फरक पडतलो पहिहाने गहून जारी कमी आवतला कांदा बियारण जारी हौटा आवतला
पुणे कम पाणी बी येरने ने चणा बियारू पाकतलो एरो आम उत्पन्न हातूच दुडतलो सरासरी एकरी 10 क्विंटल पाकतलो चारिया 13 13.5 क्विंटल पाकणे उंडोय ओलो इनामा फरक पडतलो.
KVK established Rabi Crop Museum in NICRA village for demonstrating improved technologies of different crops through different methods of sowing in the Rabi season. In the village Umrani, KVK has set up one such Rabi Crop Museum on 0.25 hectares of farmland of Shri Natwar Mahadu Salve.
एकूणच ज्यावेळेस आम्ही 2011 मध्ये हा प्रकल्प सुरू केला शेतकरी एकाएकी एखादं तंत्रज्ञान स्वीकारत नाही अशी समस्या त्यातून दिसून आली. मग आम्ही यावर एक चांगला प्रयोग केला की एखाद्या शेतकऱ्याला जो थोडा समजदार आहे अशा शेतकऱ्याला तयार करणे आणि त्या शेतकऱ्यावर तो प्रयोग करणे आणि त्या शेतकऱ्याला जर त्या प्रयोगाची यशस्वीता मिळाली की ते पाहून सीइंग इज बिलिव्हिंग या तत्वावर मग इतर शेतकरी त्या तंत्रज्ञानाचा अवलंबन करत असल्याचं आम्हाला आढळून आलेलं आहे.
The advantage of this Rabi Crop Museum is that the farmers can visit to see the sowing techniques and technologies. Rabi Crop Museum has become an effective tool for reaching out and disseminating modern farming technologies to the grassroots farmers with a successful expansion of various Rabi crops in NICRA village. Tribal people are the most undernourished segment of the society as their intake of nutrient-rich food is less. KVK promoted biofortified pearl millet variety named Dhanashakti in this region which has high iron content.
ह्योच बियारू फसू मी आवरे वापर करलो खाणे हा पोहो हाजा लागतला या बाजूला तब्येत वगैरे आपले आखे हाजी रहितले या खाणे माय तिनांग करता यो वापर करतला.
This iron-rich pearl millet variety is proven to be high-yielding as well as drought-resistant. In this region, during harvesting season of jawar, rainfall occurs, rendering the jawar seeds get blackened. This blackening of jawar seeds is due to fungal outgrowth, and hence the farmer's yield reduces drastically.
आमरी जुवार से तीन है ये काली पड़ गई से जुवार है आमू बाजारम ले गया ते आमू बाव नहीं जोड़िए खाने भी नहीं चो लगने नहीं काई नहीं काली पड़ गई से ते में काई तरी एरो कोनो है आपो.
For this reason, KVK has supported farmers with the jawar varieties that are resistant to such fungus during rainfall.
आमू बाजारों देखा वेसाती बियारू लावतला चू नाकतला पुणे वरहात मुळे चू काडू पड़ जातलो ये दुई तीन वर हे गया नाकतला कोत्रु भी वरहात पड़ती भी काली नहीं पड़तली कोरी नामू ओहलू जुवारे बियारू आवश्यकता से ते.
Livestock and poultry are an integral part of tribal farmers' life as it provides additional income. One of the conventional practices in this region is that the tribal farmers rear bull calves for 2 to 3 years and utilize them for farm operations. As the fully grown bulls are a bit unsuitable for the undulated lands, farmers sell them in a couple of years. This cattle rearing business generates extra income for the tribal farmers.
आमू दड़गांव बाजार में बुल लेतला दाखला बुल आयतला बुल लेतला बाव दाता दुई दाता लेतला आमू 1 साल वापरी 12 महिना नंतर थोडं दे बाजार वेचण्याला लावतला तिना मग आमू 10,000 आणि 12,000 बुल्ले दियो ते 20,000 22,000 वेचतला.
आम्हाला 2 वर्षात आम्हाला 10,000 12,000 15,000चे फायदा होतो. आमच्याकडे तेवढं तेच उत्पन्न आहे त्याच्यासाठी दुसरं काहीच नाही आहे.
In the summer season, farmers face scarcity of green fodder. Hence, they have to feed the livestock with locally available dry fodder, regardless of its nutrient ingredients.
आमू सुक्का चारा खावडावतला हां मोरबरटीन चारा खावडावतला ज्वारींच्या करबाटा खावडावतला निल्दो चारो जोर खावडावी तुंजो बी जास्ती मातण्या बोल तिना मोस पुन्हा वदार जोवण्या आमो हुकलो चारो खावडावतला आमो पुन्हा काय जोवण्या कमी पुन्हा जोडतलो 10-12,000 पुन्हा जोडतलो.
KVK proposed the idea of cultivating nutritious fodder to achieve self-sustenance.
पशुधनासाठी चारा पिकं लावण्याची एकूण इथली शेतकऱ्यांची मानसिकता होत नव्हती. मग या निक्रा प्रकल्पाच्या माध्यमातून काही सुधारित चाऱ्यांचे आपण प्रयोग घेतले.
KVK introduced loosened perennial grass among the farmers to get fodder throughout the year. This intervention has brought tremendous improvement in the health and productivity of livestock.
पहल जारी के लुल्ला होता बुकड़ा ये जारी के ये सारा अब तो जारी तरी फरक से पहल सारू हुकलो तो ते बुकड़ा जारी दूध नहीं देतो ये भी जारी के यू सारू से ते दूध भी से थुला ये भी चा बुकड़ा पीला जारी के में तोगड़ा से जारी खाजे से दूध से तीना मा.
अब पहले दुवारें कोड बना गाल्ला ते का बोर बुइले निम दे आवतला तिना करता ये वेला तो नाखेन उपचार करें बालो के तो बेत कोले बोणते दुवारें कोडबा देखो लुपर तिनाम इनाम फायदो रही तो कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र में देखो ये वेला तन बियाणा लावेन मे देखिने ये भी 4-5 जणे लगावडे ये वेला तो ते एका देखीन दुय देखीन मध्ये होंट लगावडे हे आमरा गाव में 4-5 जणाचे तास.
आता जवळपास 100च्या वर शेतकरी हा सुधारित पद्धतीने चारा लागवड करत आहे. त्यांची चाऱ्याची समस्या मिटलेली आहे आणि या चाऱ्यामुळे जी बैल विक्रीतून होणारा नफा आहे तो त्यांचा वाढत आहे.
गोयहिन वर हम 41,000 3 बुइलेले दिला मध्ये एक वेला तो खाऊ घाललो 13 पोतल वेचरा तिनो आमू 1.5 लाख रुपये आम्हा.
Small and marginal farmers of the region are not able to designate separate land for fodder cultivation. KVK promoted the cultivation of fodder on farm burns. It resulted in availability of fodder and the strengthening of burns on undulated terrain.
वासळांबी उत्पन्न हाजाव्या त्यानंतर जे दूध कम आपतो तो आम तेरो भी वाड़ो यो दूध ने 2 लीटर जुड़तो तो 4-5 लीटर जुड़े होंगे।
Excessive cold weather compromises goats' growth, milk production, and meat production. To cope with this, KVK intervened to cover the goats with jute or other locally available materials. This intervention helped the goats to survive extreme conditions and produce optimally. Mineral deficiency in cattle can affect the growth in young calves, goats, and milk production and reproduction efficiency in adult animals.
हा परिणाम कमी करण्यासाठी या निकरा प्रकल्पाच्या माध्यमातून एरिया स्पेसिफिक मिनरल मिक्सचरचे प्रयोग घेण्यात आले.
KVK prepared a mineral mixture that was supposed to be mixed with any fodder. They advised farmers to feed this mineral mixture to their cattle. This intervention of area-specific mineral mixture helped the farmers increase the productivity of livestock.
पावडर नाखेने म्हणजे तिने साखरी करी म्हणजे तेवे 20,000 बोलले ते 50,000 विक्री करलं मी अंत इन साहेब कह के मैं बुकड़ा भी आपिया गाय भी आपिया तेवे बुकड़ा एक पिल्ल देता था तेवे 2-3 पिल्ल बुकड़ा अपने होन गया था.
Backyard poultry also contributes to the tribal farmers' earnings. Therefore, rearing chickens are in the cultures of tribal farmers' life. However, due to inappropriate brooding and improper vaccination at the village level, diseases like Ranikhet, Gamboro, and Merix are increasing the mortality rate in chickens and causing damage to this small-scale business. Due to this, farmers are facing huge losses. To address this issue, KVK provided scientifically brooded and vaccinated 25 days old chickens to the farmers. This intervention helped in decreasing the mortality of poultry birds. These birds gain a good amount of weight in very little time and hence increasing the income accordingly.
निकरा प्रकल्पावाला वेल आमो हो कुकड़ा अपला तीनों कुकड़ा हम दोखा में 3-4 और है गया उत्पन्न मारो चालू से थोड़ो एन काही जास्ती है गया तुम्हें निकरा वाला परत नंदुरबार ली जाए नप देते लो ओहलो मारो इन कुकड़ा ने प्रकल्प चालू से थोड़ो फरक पड़तलो वार्षिक उत्पन्न में एरी कुकड़ा किंमत जास्ती आवतली तिना में फायदो इतलो अंडा भी वेचायतला कुकड़ा भी वेचायतला तिना में फायदो इतलो 8-10 हजार रुपया दर महीना.
After the successful implementation in NICRA village, more than 150 tribal farmers in neighboring village are practicing backyard poultry with a new variety of birds.
आसपास वाला हमें कुकड़ा पुरवठा करतलो कुकड़ा ली जावो तीन दोखा पैदा है यह करून पुरवठा करतलो ये गाम में अख्खा तालुका में कड़कनाथ कुकड़ा जास्तीत जास्ती करीन मीस पालतलो खूब छेटा गोयला गुजरात में गोयला MP में जातला यह कुकड़ा तीना में मी एक प्रसिद्ध हो गईलो कड़कनाथ मेन काय ती भी कहतला मान हेमे बोलतलो.
Community ownership plays a vital role in managing the resources and leading the development process. Hence, NICRA project focused on developing and strengthening the local institutions like the Village Climate Risk Management Committee, VCRMC.
अशी एखादी समस्या येत आहे तर त्याच्यावर आम्ही सगळे मिळून आमची शेती कशी टिकून राहील असा आपल्याला विचार करायचा आहे. बरोबर की नाही. आता या तुमच्या गावाची जी समस्या आहे एखादी तर कोण सोडवतात पंचायत बसून ठरवतो ना तशी आता शेतीबद्दल पंचायत ठरवण्याची वेळ आलेली आहे. आपण सगळ्यांनी एकत्र बसायचं.
In NICRA village, an automatic weather station has been installed which provides real-time local weather data. It helps farmers in dealing with the changing weather patterns as a result of climate change. a custom hiring center was established in the village of Umrani, where improved farm implements are retained and maintained for small and marginal farmers to use at minimal tariff charges. This custom hiring center has been catering to the needs of tribal farmers who could not afford to own the farm implements due to their economic condition. Custom hiring centers has been benefiting 11 farmers who purchased Allen cultivators and 74 farmers who purchased drudgery reducing tools like mesh sheller, Vaibhav and Lakshmi sickle.
त्यामुळं कांदा लसूण आणि भाजीपालो बटाटा बोठामुळं इना करून जारी के होल कावे हम दातला करून नेंदणी करता हा बाय मानू तोरा सोये है ते तीने पेक्षे यो हा जावे हम
पहले आम डुंगडुंगा मोटर दिए मांडा दुखाने हम तला याथे दुखाई तला एमी या तीवी अंत एमी या हाज मस्त उब्राहिम भी कर सकतला जरा डुंगो लिंबी कर सकतला एकदम ये करे है मस्त आवणी के काही तो आथा तरासनी काही नी योन भी हाजावणी आथा पाय भी हाजो.
Limited access to agriculture products in remote areas has hindered in easy adaptation of improved agricultural technology products.
अवजारांचा वापर कशा पद्धतीचा असला पाहिजे, हलक्या स्वरूपाचे अवजारे असले पाहिजे, या व्यतिरिक्त इथे एकाच ठिकाणी ठेवता येतील का, ही आमच्या समोरची एक आव्हानाची बाजू आहे आणि ते हे आत्ता आम्ही प्रयत्नरत आहोत.
KVK Nandurbar set up a farmer facility center in NICRA village under the governance of VCRMC. Drudgery reducing tools, biofertilizers, bioagents and mineral mixtures etc. are available at the center. 102 farmers purchased various agricultural technology products from Farmers Facility Center. Such Farmers Facility Center has been established at Shravani and Nimboni, Taluka Nawapur, District Nandurbar. KVK Nandurbar's work for the past few years was highlighted when in the year 2016, Tanaji Farsha Pavra and in the year 2017, Tetibai Kushal Pavra from NICRA village were honored with the Farm Innovator Award on Kreda Foundation Day.
आमरो एकदम हाजो भाजी पालो निकलियो 3 टाइम हमू आखर लगाडतला ता लसण अंत 2-3 क्विंटल कांदा एने मेथी कोथमीर मुला निकरा प्रकालन तर्फे आमू बटाटा आपला 3 प्रमाणे आमू प्रमाणपत्र जोडो
साहेबांना आमू मार्गदर्शन करलो ते 3 मार्गदर्शनमा आमू खेतन मेरे बांधन बंदिस्ती लगावडे ते बांधन बंदिस्ती को 3 वर हे आमरो खेतमा जो कोडो भी मोटो पानी पड़ो ते खेतमा देखो आमरो कादो बिना होयो आणि जो पाणी पडोचे आमरो खेतमाच पडो आणि खेतन जी पाक शेतीची आमरे जरा पाकडेन उत्पन्न जरा वाढी नावलो ते आमू तिनांबद्दल आमू ही पुरस्कार जोडो गावमायला मानहो एकदम हाजो लागलो की आमरा गावमाय कोणी ते बिकून पुरस्कार जोडियो ओतरा मोठा सेटा होयरम जायने ते आखा मानहो हाजो लागे के पुरस्कार जोडी आमरा गावमाय बे करिन मन छे.
After an ongoing decade-old journey of NICRA project, the climate literacy of farmers has increased substantially. The need to maintain their own resources for being climate resilient has been realized by farmers. Continuing this work and upscaling it will provide a huge canvas for developing leaders evolving at the grassroots level who are able to understand climate change and be determined to deal with it.